The API allows us to make a post request to /RSVP to register and unregister from an event. It also provides a GET request to check if the user is already registered to a specific event. We're going to use both routes. After a user will click on the RSVP button, we will show him an alert dialog to confirm the action. ShadCN UI has an alert dialog component that we can use. The first step would be to install the component. So npx ShadCN UI at latest, add alert dialog. Now navigate to the RSVP button component and import the alert dialog components. Alert dialog action, alert dialog cancel, alert dialog content, description, the footer, the header, the title, and the trigger. Now to the RSVP button, add an is attending and an on complete props. You'll use the event object to get the ID of the event. The is attending property will be used to check if the user is already attending the event and change the button text and functionality accordingly. And the onComplete property will be used to refresh the event data in the parent component after the user has RSVP. So the is attending props is a boolean, and let's make it optional. And the onComplete function returns nothing. Now let's write a function to handle the button click. It will make the network request to the API. First, let's get the token from the user context and add an isLoading state. Set it to false by default. And let's create the handle RSVP function call. It's an async function. Let's set the loading to true, so user won't be able to click the button twice. Let's set disabled to true, to loading. If the loading state is set to true, the user won't be able to click the button again. Then make the request. The method is post. And the body needs to be a stringified JSON of the event and the user ID. The event ID and the user ID. We need to add the ID property to the user type. Now we want to pass the headers, which is the content type. That should be application/JSON, and the authorization header, which is bearer and the token. Now set the loading to false after the API request ended, and show a toast to the user that is successfully either unregistered or registered based on the is attending boolean for the event title. If there is an onComplete function, we'd want to call it. This is the handle RSVP function. Now let's render the alert dialog inside the button logged in section. So let's wrap the button with an alert dialog, then with alert dialog trigger. We also want to pass it the disable state. Now add the alert dialog content. This will only be rendered once the trigger is clicked. Render the header and the title. Let's ask the user, are you sure you want to? And then, based on the is attending pops, show cancel your registration or register for event.title. Add a question mark and format the document. Now we can add a description in the header as well. Let's add more context to the user. Your registration will be cancelled if he's already attending, or you will be registered for this event and will receive email reminders. Now let's add the footer where the actions will be. We'll have a cancel function that will simply close the dialog, and we'll have an action button that will call the handle RSVP button on click. We are also going to add a disable pop to it based on the loading state, and let's call it confirm. Great. Let's see that in action. Open the browser. Don't forget to run the app first. Click on an event, make sure you are logged in, and click on the RSVP button. You'll now see the alert dialog. Now click on confirm, and you can see the toast being rendered. One thing we need is to check if the user is already attending an event. So go to the event item component and go to the event registration card component. Here. You can see that the onComplete and the is attending pops are missing. So let's add them. Replace the immediate return with a function body. Let's format that. And add an is attending state. The default value should be false. Now grab the token from the use user hook. Now write a new effect that will run on function mount for every event when the sheet is being opened. We're passing an empty dependency array, so the effect will run on mount. And then call the fetch is attending function. Let's define this function. It's an async function. And make a request to the API. Pass the event ID in the query params. And pass a method equal to get. In the headers, we want to pass the content type. And an authorization header with the token. Now turn the request into a JSON and set the is attending state to the value of the RSVP property on the response object. Now pass both the state value and the onComplete handler to the RSVP button. So is attending equal the is attending state, and onComplete equal to fetch is attending. Then we'll refresh the is attending state after the user has been registered. Now you also want to change the text here so that if the user is attending, we show a different text to the user, which is you are already registered for this event. Let's format that. Now navigate to your browser, refresh the page, and click on an RSVP and register for an event. You have unregistered, click on a specific event, and let's register for it. And you can see that the text has been changed. You are already registered for this event. Once you click the RSVP button again, you see that the cancel your registration is now being active. We can also change the button text between RSVP and cancel your registration. Now you can see the button text has changed. Let's cancel the registration and we can RSVP to the event again.